Good morning and welcome. I would like to welcome all attending and those watching remotely to this meeting of the New York State Unemployment Insurance Appeal Board. This is our second meeting of 2022, and I'm located today at the board's headquarters in Menands, New York. My name is Geraldine Riley, and I am the chair of the New York State Unemployment Insurance Appeal Board. Since our last meeting, we have had a change in leadership here at the board. Tracy Covey, on my left, who had served as the board's executive director secretary, has been nominated to serve as the chief administrative law judge. Tracy has been instrumental in the success of the board, both through and after the pandemic. I know you join me in congratulating Tracy on this well-deserved promotion. On my right, Senior ALJ Kathleen Mannix has been nominated to serve as the board's executive director, board secretary. And many congratulations to Kathleen. By our next meeting, these nominations will have been processed, and you can expect Tracy and Kathleen to be leading the board through the many challenges we face in the years ahead. I commend them on their professional accomplishments, and I am grateful for their service. I'd like to also note that Christopher Tate has joined us, who's the principal for ALJ for Appeals. Christopher has also been instrumental in the success of the board. To begin, I would like to now ask now serving Executive Director Tracy Covey to take a roll call of the members.
Okay. In addition to Chair Geraldine Riley, who is present here in Menands, I will go through all, and if you could just say that you're here. Marilyn O'Mara from Elmira.
Here.
Randy Douglas from Jay.
Here.
June O'Neill in Canton.
Here.
And Michael Greason in Brooklyn.
Here.
Okay, Chair Riley, the roll has been taken.
And a quorum is present. I am presiding today from the board's offices in Menands, New York for this Wednesday, July 20th, 2022 public meeting of the board. This meeting has been noticed, the draft agenda has been published, and the minutes from the previous January 19th, 2022 meeting have been circulated to the members, and the public has been invited to observe in real time. This meeting is being recorded and will be available along with the minutes on our website at uiappeals.ny.gov. All members being present, we do have a quorum, and our meeting is recognized as the second official meeting of 2022. I would like to begin this meeting by expressing my thanks to all of those who have supported the work of the board in addressing the many tasks that we face. I would like to thank the staff and leadership of all of our offices, and of course, and primarily, I would like to thank my colleagues on the board for their work, encouragement, and support. This is our second meeting of 2022, and it is my hope that this consistent schedule of board meetings presents a board that is proactive and accessible, and a board which aggressively addresses the 21st century's challenges that we face or that we anticipate, and that we address those tasks with the optimism and confidence in the skill and effort of our many talented employees. Each board member and each staff member is serious and interested, industrious and engaged in their approach to the important work that we do. I sincerely thank them for that. Every day, the UIAB leadership team works to better this organization and to better serve the people of New York State. As you will hear in the reports, we are now training a cadre of new ALJs who will be instrumental in shaping the future of the board. All involved in mentoring and nurturing our new judges should be commended. Sharing their experiences and imparting personal knowledge is an invaluable training tool. I would like to acknowledge and thank our Executive Director and Board Secretary, Tracy Covey, who is based in Syracuse, but who is here with us in Menands and who has worked tirelessly to advance the board and our mission. Tracy, of course, has taken on the work of the Chief ALJ and will soon be fully established in that very consequential position. And I wish to thank Principal ALJ for Appeals Christopher Tate, who is also with me today here in Menands, for his work and his continued dedication. Chris has been invaluable in these very trying times. I want to thank and acknowledge Senior ALJ Kathleen Mannix, who is here today for her work and her continuing efforts to improve and amplify excellence. I want to thank Melissa Souza, who is taking minutes, and Caitlin Smith and Amy Higby, who will be assisting with their technology today. After our meeting, there will be a training session presented by ALJ Alex Licko regarding COVID-19 vaccination refusal cases. Before the call to order, I would like to remind members, staff, and the public that our next public meeting of the board will be held on Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. Thank you. And I am now calling this meeting to order. Our first order of business is to review and adopt the draft agenda. Could you please take a minute to read the agenda, which has been circulated and published? Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Now to vote, all in favor of adopting the agenda?
Aye.
Signify.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no opposition, the agenda is adopted. Turning now to the adopted agenda, our next item is to read the minutes from our January 19th, 2022 meeting and to adopt them into the record.
Madam Chair, I move that we waive the reading of the minutes and accept them into the record.
Thank you, Michael. There is a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and adopt them into the record. Is that motion seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Jan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion has been accepted, and the minutes from the January 19th meeting have been incorporated into the record. Our first order of business then will be to review the report from the Executive Director, which will be presented by President Executive Director Tracy Covey.
Good morning, everyone. As you know, since we last met, Chief ALJ Jason Myers retired. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, and he sends his best, and I can report that he is very much enjoying retired life. I am excited to be taking on this new role as we move forward and look forward to continuing the wonderful work we do at the board. My report to you today will encompass items generally included in both of those reports from the Chief ALJ and the Executive Secretary. Now, it has been a busy year since we last met. I would first like to thank Chair Geraldine Riley for her continued hard work. The positivity, support, and assistance she has provided to both the UIAB and to me personally as we proactively navigate through various transitions at the UIAB is greatly appreciated. I would also like to thank Principal ALJs Chris Tate, Mark Sokolowski, Justin Denton, and UIAB Manager Janet Bedoin for their continuing commitment to our important work and mission. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our very talented judicial and administrative staff. Their hard work, their commitment, and their flexibility, all of those traits that they have demonstrated this year have been exceptional. Now moving on to current business. First, in staffing news, our judicial and administrative staffing level is currently at 123 employees. We have 3 new ALJs that were hired in January and April of this year who have completed their first round of comprehensive new hire training and are holding hearings at this point. They're all doing very well. As you may remember, we hired approximately 10 ALJs last year. They have continued to progress through trainings and are on full calendar at this point. Tomorrow, we are actually providing them with a refresher training on decision writing on the topic of total unemployment. Later this summer, they will receive training on status and contributions cases as well. Administrative staffing has remained relatively stable this year. Over the last few months, we have hired several new individuals to replace staff who have left for other opportunities, but our overall numbers have remained consistent. We continue to regularly evaluate if we need additional staff based on the projected inventory and upcoming retirements that we're aware of. Now, on the technology front, I'm happy to report that the computer refresh is completed, what has been completed as of earlier this year. So you all have your new laptops and a newer operating system that's bringing us into the present day. Our team continues to move forward with the UISIM computer modernization project. The design for the appeals section of the system has been approved, and the project has an anticipated completion date of October 2023. Our BSA team, our business systems analysts, have also been extremely busy this year. Through their hard work, we have a new and improved searchable attorney list on our website. We have a presence on social media, and we're in the process of compiling results from an online customer satisfaction survey. We are also in the process of developing a new IVR phone system for the administrative staff. Once this system goes live, we will have one central number that anyone from the public can call into, and the system will then have automated prompts that will allow the caller to be routed to the proper person to answer their questions. We're also continuing to evaluate the appropriate timeline for the implementation of a virtual hearing system. Now, moving on to our statistics, we are still not in compliance with USDOL acceptable level of performance markers. However, our case age continues to decrease, and we are almost there. The validated data as of June of 2022 shows that the lower authority average case age was 31.55 days, very close to the 30-day acceptable level of performance. And you'll all probably remember from some of our previous board meetings, this is a substantial decrease from where we were at, which is good. Additionally, although we are still not meeting compliance standards with the 30 and 45-day time-lapse markers, with only 12% of our cases being decided within 30 days and 65% of the cases being decided within 45 days, these numbers are also trending in the right direction. As previously reported, the case age and time-lapse statistics are still out of compliance due to circumstances outside of our control. Namely, that the majority of the cases we receive are already too old for us to meet the USDOL timeliness markers. We are also still out of compliance with USDOL acceptable level of performance standards for the higher authority. But again, our case age is decreasing. Validated data for June 2022 shows that our average case age is 51.11 days, which is above the 40-day USDOL marker, but is a decrease from the 61 days that was last reported. The case age has been slowly decreasing as our ALJs address the backlog of higher authority cases. Now, turning to our latest federal quality review statistics, for the first quarter of 2022, the average grade of this particular type of audit was 98.19 out of 100. At this time, we are considered a large volume state based on the number of decisions we issue. So we did 40 of those audits. We now do 40 of those audits per quarter, and they're randomly selected, and we score them according to the 31 federal criteria. All of our cases achieve the U.S. Department of Labor's passing grade of 85 or better, easily surpassing the acceptable level of performance related to the quality of our work. 26 of the 40 hearings had perfect scores of 100. We are proud of our continued excellence in this area. Now, the second quarter FQR evaluations are being done currently, and I will report on those at the next board meeting. We also continue to administer our own quality assurance program, auditing over 140 hearings every quarter. The audits focus on fundamental elements of fair hearings and decisions, and our results in that regard show that our judges are consistently providing excellent due process to the parties that appear before us. Thank you for allowing me to report on these important issues today, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Tracy. I have to commend you and the whole team for so many accomplishments. I'm really, of course, thrilled that we continue to replicate the excellence and quality that we insist on, really, but delivering that is a challenge, and I know you've been able to really perfect the integrity of the board's quality through your work, so many thanks for that. It is very energizing to find the work that we've done with the BSA team. I'm happy that we have now, if everybody goes to the website, you will find that there is a searchable attorney list there. A customer can put in a zip code and find out which attorney's in their area, takes UI cases, and whether or not there's a cost for that. And that's a real improvement in customer service. So, and of course, we do have a presence on social media now, which is almost a 21st century imperative, I think. So, many thanks for delivering those imperatives. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments regarding Tracy's report?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say the same. Tracy has done an amazing job in her time as the executive director, and it's been a pleasure to work with her, and I look forward to having her as the chief ALJ. So, Tracy, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other comments, then is there a motion to accept the report and incorporate it into the record?
So moved.
Thank you, Marilyn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor of accepting the report and incorporating it into the record, please signify by saying aye or otherwise indicating acceptance. Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no votes in opposition, the motion is passed and the report is accepted. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. We now turn to the report of the Principal ALJ for Appeals, Christopher Tate.
Thank you, Chair Riley. I'd like to report on several cases that were handed down in 2022. And the first one is a matter of Santa, and that was decided on February 10th, and the site is 202 83rd 1214. In that case, the court affirmed the board's decision that claimant was eligible to receive benefits and not subject to a disqualification for voluntary separation from employment without good cause or misconduct. In that case, claimant worked for a real estate company and took time off to fly to North Carolina to visit relatives and was expected to return to work on April 22nd, 2019. While in North Carolina, his leg became swollen, which required that his son drive him home. Claimant attempted to notify the employer on April 22nd via email that he would not be coming to work that day. However, claimant sent the email to the wrong domain name, and therefore it was not received by the employer. On April 23rd and 24th, claimant texted the employer explaining that his leg was swollen, that he had taken medication that affected his cognitive ability, and that he would update the employer on his diagnosis. Later on April 24th, the employer texted claimant asking for an update on his medical appointments and status regarding his return to work. No response was received from claimant. On April 29th, the employer sent a letter to the claimant informing him that his unexplained and unauthorized absence constituted abandonment of his employment. The court noted that claimant had no prior warnings regarding his attendance and that he had informed the employer on April 23rd and 24th about his medical problems, and that he provided corroborative evidence of the medical treatment he received as well as medical documentation of his prior adverse reaction to prescription medication a month earlier that caused severe confusion, which claimant had disclosed to the employer. Citing a matter of Suchaki at 132 Appellate Division 3rd 1222, the court found that claimant's unexcused absence from work due to a compelling medical reason did not disqualify him from receiving unemployment benefits. The second case is a matter of Lamo, and that was decided on May 26th, and the site is 2022 New York Active Lexus 3334. The court affirmed the board's decision that claimant voluntarily separated from employment without good cause. Claimant worked for a grocery and lunch service beginning in September of 2018. On March 23rd, 2020, claimant requested and was granted an unpaid 2-week leave of absence from the employer due to fears and family obligations related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Roughly after 2 weeks after beginning her leave, claimant did not return to work and did not request an extension of her leave. She instead filed a claim for unemployment benefits citing a lack of work related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the employer's assurances to claimant that her job had been available, claimant did not request an extension of her leave of absence or make arrangements to return to the work schedule. Thereafter, the employer terminated claimant's employment. The court noted that claimant in her testimony and in a text message admitted that she chose not to return to work due to concerns related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The court noted that claimant's conflicting testimony that she had requested and granted an indefinite leave of absence and intent to eventually return to her employment presented credibility issues for the board to resolve. Citing matter of Rakina at 304 Appellate Division 2nd 940, the court found that the failure to return to work or contact the employer following a leave of absence may disqualify a claimant from receiving unemployment benefits. The court also found that claimant inaccurately represented she left her job due to a lack of work when applying for benefits, allowing for recoverable overpayments. The third case is matter of Hossain, and that was also decided on May 26, and the site is 2022 New York Active Lexus 3333. In that case, the court affirmed the board's decision holding that the claimant, a driver, was an employee of a company operating a digital platform on a smartphone app that provided transportation services to clients seeking rides in New York City. The court found that the company reviewed and screened drivers' credentials and inspected their vehicles for compliance with its standards, provided drivers with a GPS navigation system, tested their knowledge of geography and the ability to use GPS, and handled both driver and client complaints and problems that arose from the transport. The company coordinated and oversaw all aspects of the ride through its app, tracking the drivers and the ride on GPS and running a help desk for drivers and controlling the driver's access to the clients. The company set and calculated the fares, kept a set percentage as a fee, charged the client a processing fee, added a gratuity which, if disputed by the client, resulted in the driver getting a higher percentage of the fare in lieu of a gratuity, collected the charges from the client, and paid the drivers who were paid even if the client failed to show up for the trip or disputed the charges. Drivers displayed a company logo and were reimbursed for tolls and parking. Clients were able to rate drivers who were selected based upon their location, ratings, and a history of accepting offered fares. Citing matter of Lowry at 189 83rd 1863, the court found that the relationship between the company and the drivers was not materially distinguishable from the relationship between Uber and its drivers. And finally, matter of McHale was decided on June 23rd, and the site is 2022 New York Active Lexus 3984. The court affirmed the board's decision that claimant was ineligible to receive benefits because he was not available for employment and was not eligible for pandemic unemployment assistance or PUA benefits. Claimant lived in New York City and traveled to Egypt on February 18th, 2020 to attend a family matter, intending to return at the end of March 2020. The government of Egypt imposed a travel ban on March 16, 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and closed the country's airports until July 2nd of 2020. Claimant was unable to return to the United States until around July 3rd of 2020. On March 26, 2020, claimant attempted to file a claim for unemployment benefits, but that effort was blocked because of his location. He then applied for benefits by remotely accessing his home computer in the United States. He completed a questionnaire disclosing the reasons for being in Egypt and his inability to return home due to the airport closure. His claim for benefits was denied initially because he was in Egypt and was not ready, willing, and able to work or comply with reporting requirements. As he was ineligible for state benefits, the Department of Labor sent him an application for PUA benefits, and claimant completed and submitted the application. Claimant certified for the week ending June 14, 2020 that he was ready, willing, and able to work and receive PUA and other federal benefits. The court found that claimant was not ready, willing, and able to work and noted that the unemployment insurance handbook that was made available to him apprised him that he was not considered available for work unless he can accept work immediately. The court also found that claimant was not entitled to PUA benefits because he was not ready, willing, and able to accept work within the meaning of applicable state law, that is, Labor Law Section 591, subsection 2, as he was outside the country and thus did not satisfy the first prerequisite for entitlement to PUA. The court noted that the board's decision was consistent with the guidance provided by the United States Department of Labor, citing Unemployment Insurance Program Letter number 16-20. Because claimant was not entitled to receive PUA benefits, the board properly assessed overpayments of benefits. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chris. It's very informative. very timely and topical, so thank you. Are there any questions on the cases that Principal ALJ Tate has explained? Hearing no further comments, I just want to thank you again, Chris.
Thank you, Chair.
Is there a motion to accept the report of Principal ALJ Tate and incorporate it into the record?
So moved.
Thank you, Marilyn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Got 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Thank you. Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
All in favor of accepting the report into the record and incorporating it, please signify by saying aye.
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 Hearing no opposition, the report is accepted and incorporated into the record. So thank you for that. We come to the portion of the agenda which asks, is there any new business? Hearing none, there is no new business to discuss. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thanks, Marilyn. All in favor of the motion, accepting the motion to adjourn, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Hearing no opposition, the motion to adjourn has been passed and the meeting is adjourned. So many thanks. Thank you very much, everybody. So Melissa?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.